Well, what is obvious is that it's in my blood. Again, and my father also was a cantor. So
Did you grow up Orthodox?
Not Orthodox.
Not Orthodox.
Conservative, but very connected to observing Judaism. And so it's very much in my blood, in my soul. And because we as a people carry that in our genetics, in our DNA, if you would, I think I have a particular desire to help heal that. Because the research that is happening now, and Richard is more of an expert in this field than I am, but I would be happy to say that our DNA now is changing as a result of the power of love that is coming into us individually and onto the planet as well. We are living in such amazing times. Yes, it appears to be, of course, it's very difficult and very challenging, and it seems that there's more violence than ever. But at the same time, I feel that there is also a higher frequency that is happening on this planet, and there is more love coming into us individually and planetary. And so I believe we have an incredible opportunity to open to this power of love, so that anything that is within us that is not in alignment with that can be revealed. And in that revealing, the healing, of course, can take place. And so I feel like, sure, I'm a testament to that possibility, because I have carried enormous grief. I have had some really profound experiences where spontaneously I would go into this deep, deep grieving and loss, and I had no idea why. And then I would talk to my mother and find out that something from her got released, and she felt better because she couldn't do it herself.
So spontaneously, from something being healed in you, something
Yes,
lifted in her.
in her. And so this is a part of the magic of this work, that what we find is that as we do our own healing, it actually does affect members of our family. There have been so many situations where someone will do a constellation who hasn't been in touch with their parent or their child, and they have deep grief around it. And again, spontaneously, after not having had contact with a particular member of the family, they'll hear from them. Sometimes after years of not being in communication. The next day, the next week, they'll get a phone call.
So this is one of those things where some magic comes into play, that kind of synchronistic, wonderful, serendipitous magic from doing that inner work. Many things get affected. So it takes on a whole other meaning of constellation.
That's right.
Because not only is it working from the constellation from the out in, it's working from the constellation in out.
Exactly.
Speaking of constellation, you and your wonderful partner, husband, Richard, who has become a very dear friend of mine, have been married for 28 years?
We've been married 25 years
25
and
years.
been together 28.
28 years. Very uncharacteristic in this day and age. This
amazing.
is very unusual to have that kind of longevity in this day and age. It's like,
True.
you know, here on Maui, 5 years is a long-term relationship.
Right.
It's funny. But how's that been for you? How's it been being married for such a long time to one person?
It has been everything, as you can imagine. And I really believe everything is everything. And it has been one of my deepest teachers in learning how to open to the core of who I am, and to learn how to communicate from a place of compassion, and to listen to what his needs are. And we both have really learned how to make room for ourselves so we can make room for each other. And it has definitely been a work in progress. And I would say now, in our maturity, it is the gift, I have to say, of the aging process. There is a wisdom that I have now that certainly we did not have 30 years ago. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful that we have evolved to this place now where we are more in alignment than we have ever been. And there's more freedom within ourselves and our marriage than we've ever had. And in that place of freedom and spaciousness, we have never been more connected.
So you said freedom and spaciousness. Are those words synonymous for you? Because when you say freedom, that could mean a lot of things to a lot of people. We've got all kinds of freedom. Not the freedom to act out in a way. It's like the freedom to stay connected to the deepest truth of who we are. And in that level of freedom, of honoring, there are very good boundaries. We both know what our limits are. We honor those limits out of love. It is an incredible place to come to and know that we can make choices out of love, and we are responsible for our choices, and we are ready to take the consequences of those choices. That's a mature relationship, and that is a loving relationship. So I know you spend, at this point, more of the time in Santa Fe than here.
Yes.
And your home in Santa Fe is in the countryside, and it's, you have a lot of alternate energy things going there and so forth. What is it that you love about Maui, and what is it that you love about Santa Fe?
You know, I really feel like Santa Fe and Maui are like a marriage of husband and wife. The thing I love about both places is the connection to the land, the spirits that the native Hawaiians here have been praying and holding a very sacred space for many, many years, in the same way as the Native Americans in New Mexico and Arizona and the Four Corners area have. And you can feel it's palpable. So I love that when I'm here. And I love the ocean. And the mountains, of course, in New Mexico are just so exquisite. And it is a blend of that female and male. This feels a little more feminine. New Mexico feels a little more masculine. And I love the energies of them together is just such a blessing. I feel so grateful to be able to live here and live there, and to feel the hydration that happens for me. Certainly here, New Mexico is very dry. We have an elevation of 7,000 feet.
And you're an ocean
quite
baby.
Different. And I love the ocean.
You're an ocean. You're a dolphin. You love to get in that water.
I love to get in that water.
Swim and
So it's a great balancing act.
How can people, if they hear this, and they're interested in taking a next step, your website is
Naomi Fiske, Fiske.com, and there will be more information on that. And I do plan on doing workshops in Maui, hopefully in March is my plan. I don't know yet exactly where the location will be, but I'll have that put up on my website. And they can certainly call me or email me at nomi@cybermesa.com.
So your first name, how do you spell that in that?
That would be Nomi.
Okay.
And again, that is my father's nickname for me, was Nomi. And
like know me.
To know me. And I realized how perfect that was too.
It's wonderful. So if someone signs up for, or calls in and wants to become a part of a group, then in that, people would get a chance during one of, how long is it, a weekend? Or?
We can certainly do a weekend, and I'll do a presentation, a free presentation, so people can have a sense of it, do some demonstrations when I get here so people can see it, and then we can do a weekend. And each constellation lasts anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. And if we have 6 people a day, we can do 12 in a weekend. And we can have 20 to 30 people in the circle.